This is Big Dink Energy, the pickleball podcast that's half insight, half nonsense, and all entertainment. If you love pickleball, don't take yourself too seriously and think a little trash talk makes the game better, welcome home. This is the place where life and pickleball intersect. We celebrate the chaos, call out the nonsense, and put the fun back in dysfunction. You're either in or you're out. And if you're still listening, you're in. So let's go. Big Dink Energy starts now. And we're back. I've always wanted to say that from the Saturday Night Live skit with Jimmy Fallon. Listen, this is the BDE podcast, BDEpodcast.com. This is the podcast you come to for your mediocrity. So typically what we open up with is a little table talk, a little kitchen talk, if you will. Steph, I think you had something when we were starting before I hit record. What was yours?
I think we need to talk about the pickleball fashion. So
Oof.
I feel like we have two different extremes. So we have the country club vibe. I have an extra fridge for sparkling water type people. And then you have the, like, did you get dressed in a dark carnival tent wearing like all the flamingo Miami Vice shirts and the Dink socks and the
Paddle
wigs
Princess.
and all of that hoopla?
Paddle
So-
Princess had a matching tennis outfit on yesterday. I want to make sure that we point that out
Did she?
because I noticed
I
it.
did not.
It was all black.
Well, yes, I was matching.
It was a skirt with a tennis top.
No, shorts.
I'm
Oh, was it?
talking about like the people who have like the tutus and like all of the eccentric stuff. So
okay.
how are we feeling about that?
So obviously, I have a style, which is whatever was cleanest on the closet floor by smell or look, either way. And let's throw it on and let's try to look as sporty as possible. So sometimes it's sweats, sometimes it's cut off camo shorts. From my days in the Army. I'm very, very much nostalgic about those. Sometimes it's a tank top. Sometimes it's a cut-off sleeve shirt. I don't know. I'm not the one to talk to about fashion because you know my mentality. I don't care. You all on the court should be happy that I have stuff on to begin with.
I think it's fun. I mean, what do
Yeah.
you think?
It just depends on the situation. Like if there's a specific event, like maybe a charity event, like,
They had the inflatable events.
yes.
Yes. Okay, I'm down with that.
Like with like 5Ks where they have specific themes and people wear their tutus
Right.
in bright colors and fun stuff. That's the time and the place to wear that type of
Like
outfit.
the overboard stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're going to a country club type pickleball court, that's the time where you wear your expensive, fancy outfits with your visor, even if you're indoors kind of look, because that's the look that they're going for.
Yeah.
For me, as long as it matches and it's practical, that's what I care about. I don't want to wear pants when it's 80 degrees outside because I'm going to be really, really hot. It just kind of depends on the situation and what's going on, but there's no need to be all fancy. We're all just out there to have fun.
Yeah, like all the dress ups and all of that. Like if I was playing against somebody that had like the Elvis with all the sequins, like I'm not worried about his serve. I'm worried about who's taking over his Vegas residency.
Yeah. No, I'm in. So now, okay, now I'm in. Now I'm back in. I was out. Now I'm back in. I am all about the dress for impress. Right. And I'm not talking about your pickleball outfits, all matching tops and all that kind of stuff. I'm talking about attention grabbing.
Like they raided a party store.
Yeah. I am all about that on the court. I think the game is fun. I think it's engaging. I think it's bringing a lot of the community together, a lot of different
That's true.
parts of the community together that necessarily may not intersect each other in a day-to-day. But yeah, if you're showing up in your sequin Elvis and you look like Elvis prior to the drug issues, I might be in. After the drug issues, not so sure.
I mean, if you think about it, it's really hard to be serious when the people across from you are an inflatable dinosaur.
Right?
Like you can't be like
Yeah,
calling-
and they're probably, if you're putting that on and stepping on the court, you're probably good.
with those T-Rex arms. How do you
Yes.
even?
Yes.
So
Well, and I'm all about also the two short shorts. I like my jeans cut off and the
Stop.
pockets hanging out the bottom. That's. I'm in. No, I was out initially when you were talking about like highfalutin, but when I can dumb it down a little bit, yeah, I'm all in on that.
I think it's all fun and everything, but don't show up in a full on mascot. Like then we got to call we
Right.
got to call it. Like if you're showing up as, a big mascot bear, it's too hot. It's too much for that.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing I will probably bring back at some point is the John McEnroe look. Again, the 2 short shorts, and then I
No,
want
sir.
headbands and I want wristbands for sure when I'm out there.
So-
I'd be getting sweaty.
So like the fun Miami Vice shirts, the fun neon socks,
Yeah.
I like that.
that's all good, I think.
I think it's fun.
All right,
I'm in.
pickleball fashion.
Pickleball fashion. Tell us what you think. BDEpodcast.com. You can go over there and chime in. If we use yours, it'll be on the show and we'll give you a shout out. So go over to BDEpodcast.com and tell us what you think about pickleball fashion. I feel like this is a great place to talk about our sponsor, Dink and Balls. We are so necessarily, we're just fortunate to have a sponsor. I don't know who would want to sponsor this, but they do, dinkandballs.com. You think your game's good enough for boring balls? Think again. Dink and Balls is here to spice up your court time. They are USAPA standard, if that's something you care about. Built for laughs, built for a little bit of time, and they're here for a good time. Designed for players who know the best games are about the fun and not the trophies. That's definitely us over here. Every purchase supports our military and first responders. They're giving checks to military and first responders on the balls that you purchase. Your balls should make a difference on and off the court. I know we play with Dink and Balls all the time. Stop playing with bland balls. If you want to play with your balls in public, buy Dink and Balls, and then they'll be your balls. Go to dinkandballs.com and get yours today. That's DINKN balls.com. Dink and Balls. Play with confidence, even if you shouldn't.
It's time for Pickle Pal.
Pickle Pal section. This is the section of the podcast that I absolutely love, where we get to talk to the unique people and places that surround our awesome pickleball community worldwide. And today I'm with Riley Palmer, and she is known affectionately as Smiley Riley everywhere on all the socials. Welcome so much to the Big Dink Energy podcast. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. I love the name, by the way, the Big Dink Energy. It
Yeah.
like gets you alive.
Yeah, absolutely. We bring all the vibes to the podcast, and this is, I just got to kind of set this up. And some people, we're kind of new to it, but this is kind of the podcast for people like me who, not like you,
Not like you.
No, I'm a mediocre player at best. Duper was something I had to look up, so
I don't even think you even still know what duper is.
I'm a 1.5. I bet.
You're like,
I don't think so. It doesn't start that low.
oh, see, we don't know.
Yeah, it does now.
You've never seen him
You're
play.
set a new standard. Like you're grading on the curve.
That's right.
Okay.
If the bar is low, I can step over it every time.
That's amazing.
So let me ask, so Smiley Riley, now is that something you came up with, someone came up with for you, or how did that go?
I feel like it'd be embarrassing if I named myself that for the record, but apparently, I mean, very short story. My parents said, like, right when I was born, I was smiling.
Sure.
And just as I grew up, I went by Smiley Riley. And even like my middle school yearbooks, I just dug out, say like Smiley Riley. And more importantly, I'm kind of the OG of the name Riley. I don't want to like date my age, but there were no Rileys growing up.
Sure.
And so it helps people know how to spell it because it just makes sense. It's just Smiley and then Riley, just the R. R-I-L-E-Y.
Nice. That's awesome. And then you really own it. And yeah, you're right. And like the middle school years, if you don't lean into something like that, then it's going to get a tag that, I'm in the same age bracket. And if you've really got, so I'm going to date myself too. There was a Sesame Street character called Guy Smiley. And so, that would be brought up quite a bit when Sesame Street was a big thing when I was growing up. And so I leaned into it a little bit too. It wasn't as bad as it could have been, I guess.
No. It could have been worse, I suppose. But yeah,
Okay,
it just works with me. It's catchy.
Yeah, I love it. So, pickleball is life, right? And so, but what was life like? Tell us a little bit about your backstory before you became this giant, what I would call a pickleball ambassador. What was your life like before this?
Well, I'm a mom to 3 girls. I started playing, they were probably, I think they would have been like 9, 11, and like 16 when they lost my life to pickleball. Like all of a sudden they're like, what are you doing? And what happened to our mom?
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, you'll have to go look on TikTok. They actually did a pickleball intervention video.
Oh,
it was
that's
really
awesome.
funny.
What's the?
Yes.
So what's the TikTok handle they need to look for?
Smiley Riley pickleball.
For sure. So now
it's a great one.
So now your kids have a drug problem, right? They're drugged to every tournament and every court.
Oh, I have heard that term. That's great.
Yeah.
You know what? Even better than that, my youngest has now started playing and she's on my competitive club team. And she's doing awesome. So it's perfect. I know, I love it. So they went from like loving it to hating it because I was doing it all the time. And then I did it for work to now they're loving it again.
Right.
Which is great. So yeah, prior to this, I was been a business owner my whole life. And when I got into pickleball, I was just loving it. And then all of a sudden I was like, wait, I've been doing businesses since I was 21 and I loved it so much. I was like, this is awesome. I can go into something that I really, really love. And I've been trying to figure out little ways to keep growing it and it's working.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, you have a tremendous following and you're doing everything right on that side of things. I do have some concerns where you're creating this generation of pickleball players now. You're going to create probably a dynasty, but then you're also creating a group of people who also don't have disposable income too. But
Yes,
the dynasty is awesome. I love that.
Yes. Their parents are like, wait a second, this is an expensive sport all of a sudden.
Yeah, hey, listen, it's not horseback riding, right? So I mean, let's be thankful. Yeah, or cheerleading. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, hockey and cheerleading, like,
Yep.
my kids don't even know what those sports are. Not an option.
That's great. So, talking about your brand, you have a really strong brand. So I know some of our listeners are going to be wondering, like, what's your advice for average players who want to turn their passion into a recognizable brand like Smiley Riley? What are some advice for that?
Well, I think a big part of it is just being a business owner for so long is really putting yourself out there, talking with people, getting to know people, really finding out like what your clients are and what they like. And I mean, I spend when I'm not on the court and I'm not doing administrative part and I'm not planning trips, I'm constantly like reaching out to the people that I coach and work with and seeing like, what are they looking for? What do they want? And trying to add credibility by learning as much as I possibly can about the sport, about the industry in general, the growth, getting involved with I'm involved now with the Global Pickleball Federation. So
Wow.
I think a big part for me was I've had people just book lessons that moved here and they said, hey, I just need to learn all things pickleball in the Valley. And I feel like you might be able to direct me in the right space. So I used to be nicknamed Jeeves. Do you remember Ask Jeeves?
Oh, yeah.
Ask Jeeves.
Yeah.
Now it's just Ask Alexa or Ask ChatGPT. So I used to be called Jeeves because I like to have like a wealth of information for people.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's kind of like my brand came through as it really is genuine. And I think when it's something you're really passionate about, it makes it really easy to get other people interested in it too.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. In a past or current life, on the side, I do some safety and security consulting. And I've always said, kind of like the Ask Jeeves, I want to be the utensil or the tool like the Swiss Army knife that just has everything in it. And if you have a question, I've got the tool for you, right? And so I absolutely love that idea. And there's one of the big things with pickleball, there's no gatekeeping. It seems like if somebody's has figured something out, then we give that away freely, and I love that about the community as well.
Yeah, I know. I've had so many conversations in the last week where someone starts to say like, "Well, I want to tell you this, but we have this idea." I'm like, you're in a safe space.
Yeah.
Like, we're all just here to watch this sport grow. Like, I'm too busy. I can't go make a paddle. I was like, just tell me, what do you have? I want to hear about it.
That's right. Yeah. And so I do some public speaking, and what I've found with public speaking, and one thing that is unique to it that people wouldn't understand, is that for every 1 hour of talk I give, there's 10 hours of prep that goes into that, right? And so for like your brand, what do you find kind of like the percentages are? You're out there and you're doing the videos and you're shooting a video or something like that, but then the prep side or the admin side, what you maybe would call it, how much of that? What's the breakdown for people?
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you asked this because it is a huge part of the business. And a lot of times, like when people ask like coaching and coaching rates, they don't realize that I don't just like walk up to a court. I don't just hop on, give a lesson. Like my work does not end. My work starts at 6 a.m,
right?
Because I start planning. Like I'm going through, looking at videos, creating like an ideal lesson plan. I'm getting on court, but it's the scheduling, it's the following up, it's the marketing, it's the website. And then on top of it, the travel portion is almost like a full-time job. So
Right.
I think it's honestly, people will be caught off guard, but I would say it's a close to like a 40% administrative. Just if you're going to do this right, there's a lot of people who just get certified. They want to come out and just coach like on their own schedule and just make extra income. But to build a business from it, there is a tremendous amount of back work and software and programming and branding.
Yeah, and the money side too. I mean, people miss that. I think sometimes when you want to be a worldwide brand like Smiley Riley, it's not. You show up and you do the 30-second clip or the 1-minute clip, and that there's so much that goes into that.
It's that iceberg. No one knows what's all underneath.
Yeah. Or it's the duck. It's the duck, right? You don't see all the paddling going in underneath the water. You just see the duck gliding across the water, and it looks great.
So fun little story, Riley.
Yeah.
We went on a cruise 2 years ago, and a little over 2. And we did not know about pickleball, and to this day we are so pissed that we missed out on.
There were courts on the ship.
There were courts, and we walked past and we were like, what the hell are these people doing?
What are they
is this? What
doing?
is this? And we look back and we're like, oh my God, we missed out on 10 days of like fun. And
Oh my gosh,
I see,
yep.
yeah. So it reminded me of this because I see that you're doing all of this travel stuff, and I would love for you to let us know and our listeners know. Tell us about this pickleball paradise stuff.
You guys, this stuff is so exciting. And this is a true big part of my work right now. So I grew up, my mom's been a business owner her whole life, and she chartered trips. And so I went on a yacht trip in Croatia 4 years ago with her. And I had the opposite situation. I was in paradise on this. I mean, if you watched Below Deck, it really is like a below deck situation. I'm on this yacht. I paid like $3,000 for the week. And I'm like, how am I even doing this? But there was no pickleball.
Wow.
And I'm like, how am I going to do that? Like, it is a situation.
Were you
for
just
me,
sitting in
okay?
a corner smoking cigarettes and shaking?
Did you have live footage of me? That's amazing. Are there cameras everywhere? But no, what I did do is I pre-did my work ahead of time. I reached out to anybody in Croatia. I found a website or a link to Pickleball Split. And I reached out to the people there. I was like, how can I play pickleball when I'm there? And they're like, good luck. It's difficult. But they arranged to have their first ever pickleball tournament while we were there. And there was about 18 people at it. And it made their news, cover of their news.
Wow.
That we were there. I should send you the picture.
That's so
It was
cool.
really pretty cool. And so I did get to play one day when I was there. And then, of course, I just like hit against a wall. I'm not even joking. I did. I hit against a wall.
Sure.
So I had this idea of like, why should I not? I've always loved to travel. I would rather travel and drive a minivan than like have a really nice car and not travel. If I have to exchange, I'm going to pick it. So I was like, I need to create an itinerary like this on a yacht that is affordable, where most people can't do a yacht trip themselves, and have pickleball in it.
Oh, we're so in. We are
yeah,
so
we're in. We're definitely in on that for sure.
You guys, it was absolutely, last year, it takes a lot of planning, but we had a floating pickleball court built.
I saw that.
We could play. Yeah, if you were to picture like a paddleboard, and it's a court, it's like harder surface, amazing.
For you all that are not picturing it, go to Riley's Insta and you can see that. And you can also see what may be the only Ernie into water that I've ever seen also. So please go
Don't
find
let him fool you. You have no idea what the Ernie is.
Well, I know he was with Bert.
You read the title.
It's not Bert and Ernie. You read a title.
Yeah, I read a title for sure.
Yeah. You read what do you think an Ernie is?
You don't know.
I do. Yes.
Oh,
it's
no,
a
you
straight
don't.
it's
Okay.
a straight down. Yes, you're returning a shot straight down the line and you're stepping over the kitchen into the outside.
What?
Okay.
What?
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh, I am like
Okay.
so
Yes.
taken back
Thank
right
you
now.
so much.
Okay.
Thank you so
I will
much.
make a deal with you right now, okay? So in Croatia, we have that court. In Greece, we have a court on the yacht. But if you come to Croatia and you can do a better Ernie than my friend Brad, I'll give you $500.
Wow, that is a challenge I will probably fail at, but I would love to try for
Here's
sure.
a second question. Have you ever done an Ernie guy?
No, of course not.
You've never even done a serve, right?
I've never served. I've never hit a shot with two hands. I mean, It's
two hands.
yeah. It's out of the question.
I could train you in Ernie shots prior to going. In fact, anybody who watches, if they come and they do a better one, I'll put up like a side-by-side vote and people can vote. And if they beat Brad's, I'll give them $500.
That is the best, because it was kind of like a little dive with it too. So he was on it. So I think what this leads us to then is for your next marketable thing. Everything is green, right? We've got to be green. So now we need, if we're going to be on the water, we're going to need pickleballs that don't get stuck in turtles' noses like straws, and so they're going to have to be biodegradable when they hit water. So I think you've got a little road ahead of you on that for sure.
Did you read the comments?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. So first of all, let me just say, like, no small animals were injured during us playing. We didn't kill any of the land that's underneath the floating court. It's only there for 24 hours.
Oh my God.
And pickleballs float.
Yes.
And there was no poor sad person that was paddleboarding or jet skiing that was forced into the labor in the Adriatic to go and pick up the pickleballs.
Oh my gosh.
Nobody was hurt. No tears were shed.
It's so ridiculous, when you get out into the social media world like that just the people that feel like they can comment on your life, right, and bring some negativity. I had a little bit of success on TikTok a long time ago for one of my other jobs. And the amount of comments that were just negative, oh, shouldn't you be at work? Or this is our tax dollars at work. I was a police officer. And, okay, yeah, I'm not building a community. I'm not, none of the great stuff that's going on from this, but all the negative for sure.
Oh, I love the one that's like, oh my gosh, this looks like my own personal hell. I was like being on a yacht in Croatia, floating around, swimming. I was like, man, I want to see what your life is like on a daily basis if this is it.
Yeah, no kidding. These are people that eat mayonnaise from a jar.
I did that as a kid. I'm sorry. I did it I might have done that.
I may have had some mayonnaise sandwiches growing up on the other side of the tracks, as they say. So let's get back to pickleball instead of mayonnaise sandwiches. Boy, if we clip this and just do that, people are going to tune into that. They're just going to resonate with that.
I just want to simply put, you could clip it, but I want to put I would put ketchup in the mayonnaise and just dip a hot dog in it.
Okay. I would amp it up with a little hot sauce. So, I mean, I feel like we could turn into a weird cooking show at any point. So this is awesome.
Pickles and mayonnaise.
That's right. So let me ask you, so you've built a huge community around pickleball, but for the beginners out there, and this is one of the reasons we started the podcast too, is I feel like everybody should be playing pickleball, right? So I don't want someone showing up to a court or in a community or a group ever feeling like, well, no, I've got to stand on the outside. I can't get in. And until they hit that first ball, right? They don't realize that it's such a welcoming community. So what are some of the things you do for those beginners or the sideline people that are just standing there wondering if it's a sport for them?
I go out to the public court. We're so lucky in Arizona. We have a ton of pickleball courts that are public. So I personally will go to the courts that I grew up learning to play. And anytime I see, routinely, I'll see people standing outside the gate and they're just like looking around. I'm like, hey, do you have a question? I do the same thing with people at Costco because I want to be a Swiss Army knife, right?
Right.
I'm like, what are you looking for? Let me lead you to the Poppy probiotic soda.
Let's go get a $1 hot dog.
Yes. So I will, I can identify those people quickly. And I'm like, come on in. Let me show you. This is how you do the paddle position. But anytime I have beginners, I always offer to go and do an on-court, public lesson. I put it half the price because I just want them to get out there and have fun. So I'll bring them out. There is a court etiquette.
Sure.
A lot of times people just walk behind someone serving and they almost get hit. Or about how to call the ball when it rolls onto someone's court, because if they don't, someone might get hurt. So I'll go to the court with them the first time, play in with them, show them how it works. But I do think it's awesome. The most welcoming community. That's where, I just as a tiny spigot, when I started playing, I was getting divorced. I was married 21 years, and getting on that court and not knowing anybody felt really great too, because none of those people had any idea what was under the surface.
Right.
And when I got to that court, people were like, come in, come play. And I was like, oh, I'm not very good. And they were like, it's okay, we'll teach you how to play.
Yeah.
And that was my life. That was my changing moment. Honestly, I thought
That's awesome.
This is awesome. I can come here and play. And that's why I want to learn and be better, because I want people to want to put their paddle in with me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Once you get to the park and like you see all the people you know, and they're like, hey, I'm putting my paddle with you. You're like, I have arrived. I've made it. Yeah.
Okay, so that brings me to a great question then. So you've got some skill, obviously. Your duper score is way up there. So have you ever been like a sleeper and like you knew this pickleball snob was gonna be on the other side of the net and they underestimated you and you just crushed them?
I've had it happen a lot of times. Let's say my duper I had like a little drop after an injury, so I need to get it back up here again. But one of my favorites was when I was in Idaho with my daughter, and we just went to some random courts. It was just 2 years ago. So at the time she was 12. And these two guys that went to Boise State came out. They're really, really nice kids, athletes. And they're playing. And I tell my daughter, I'm like, okay, let's play with these two guys. She's like, no. Like she's looking, she's like mad at me. She's like, text me, like, I hate you. I am not playing. And I'm like, no, we're going to go play. And so we get on the court with them and we're just very unassuming. And I was like, hey, can we play? And they're like, okay, sure. We spooled that.
What's this sport? Can you show us? Sure.
Oh, do I have a racket? Do you have any extra racket? Yeah. Like, how does this hit? Right. And so we got out there and I think we beat them like 11-3. And at the end, they were like, do you play this? I was like, I actually coach it for a living. And they were laughing so hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I watched Agassi play the other day, and they were all good players on the court for sure. But I remember Agassi with the hair and all that kind of stuff, and now he's bald, and I wondered he could just probably walk onto a pickleball court in a little bit of disguise and just start crushing people. And so, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, where I do that the best, though, I will tell you, is at the foosball table soccer.
Oh, yeah.
I like to walk in. Yeah, like I go to Top Golf, and I'm a really bad golfer, so like I'll sneak in to the foosball section. There's always like teenage boys, and hey, can I go ahead and play with you guys? And they're like, yeah, sure, not a problem, go ahead. And I'll come in and just smoke them.
Nice.
So like I just put money on it, and they're like shocked.
Nice, yeah.
I
think there's a point before. Here in a little while before Top Golf starts figuring out how to add a couple pickleball courts, whether they take away from the parking lot or not. I think that's a
smart.
natural evolution for them.
No, it'd be smart. One thing I want to point out too, speaking of like building and evolution, is that this sport, we're going to Greece, and they're building their first ever like dedicated like pickleball court facility. It's gonna be exciting. They're adding it to their padel and tennis and all that.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're seeing so many. We have some questionable courts out there that, why are these basketball lines still, can I see them through the paint that you put out here, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I love it because even rec centers are realizing, okay, we're going to get more people here and through our gate, so to speak, if we can just adopt some of these courts that aren't being used in the pickleball courts. So it's awesome.
100%.
It's growing. So speaking about growing, where's the Smiley Riley brand in 5 years? What's the goal, or even maybe 1 year? The lofty goals that you have.
Well, I have so many ideas, and I think it's like it's bittersweet because my brain is always like going back and forth on things. I have this. I kind of would love to be in like the consulting of pickleball world, and it's right along those lines of what you're talking about, like helping these activity centers learn how to utilize this vacant spaces. But I would love to kind of be in the consulting aspect of like, how do we grow pickleball? What does my community need?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm trying to like learn as much as I can. I have an amazing opportunity next week. I'm on the main stage speaking at Racket X, which was pretty exciting. I think there's like 55 speakers and 12 of them, I think, are women, and I got to be one of them. So I'm really excited.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
That's fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, a huge opportunity for me. I was very honored to get the chance to do it. So I think if I could be the person just as it scales and grows, I would love to do it. I'm trying to grow it internationally. So we have the Olympic Committee members coming to Greece on the trip with us. Oh, and we have Connor Pardo, the owner of the PPA is coming to Grace on the boat.
That's awesome. Yeah, so many wonderful things that you've got going on with Smiley Riley brand and for yourself. And listen, when you get to that consulting stage and for all the big names, if you need some help with the 1.5s of us down here at the bottom, I feel like we need to capture some of that. So just hit us up. We'll make sure we
100%.
speak into that for you. So
100%.
how can everybody find Smiley Riley? What's all the tags that you want people to go see?
I kept it very basic. So it's pretty much Smiley Riley Pickleball across the board for Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. I do have Smiley Pickleball Travel. I pulled the Riley out of it. That's my main travel part.
Okay.
And my website is Smiley Riley Pickleball. And then find me on LinkedIn. I'm constantly trying to see who I can network with and we can help each other grow in whatever aspect that is. So
yeah, that's a different space, and I think entrepreneurs like you and like us will find more and more room in there for us, especially if we throw the elbows a little bit right now and say, hey, this is something that is actually a business, and so we've got business acumen as well. So listen up, right? So, okay, one of the questions I ask everybody, and I hope you have this one already loaded up, the Smiley Riley theme song or walk-on song when you're walking on the court.
Oh my gosh, the Smiley Riley theme song when I walk on court, it's got to be Guess Who's Back
Oh,
Again.
yes, a little Slim Shady. All right,
Yeah,
all right.
I am a huge Eminem fan.
Yeah,
so
for
it's
sure.
always there.
And George Michael, right?
Yeah, well, and George Michael.
I know. My George Michael crush, definitely.
I was going to wear jeans and stand facing away from the camera today.
Do something like this?
Yeah, that's right. I couldn't find the hanging cross earring, so I was out.
Gosh, you couldn't?
No, I was out.
Dang it.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Well,
that's hilarious.
Thank you so much, Smiley Riley Palmer, for being with us. And if you're going through Scottsdale, right?
Yep, you got it.
If you're going through Scottsdale on any of your trips or you live out there, please go find her. She will definitely teach you, or if you need to be schooled, she will definitely school you.
Either way, I'm fine.
That's right. And she can clean your gutters too. Don't miss out on that. She's got all the gutter, the proper equipment for that.
A stick and my slippers.
Right. And if you're wondering what I'm saying, go see her on her Instagram right now. So Smiley Riley Palmer, thank you so much for being on the Big Dink Energy Podcast.
All right. See you guys. Thank you so much.
Dink or destroy. I just like hearing myself in the mic like that. But Dink or destroy is this part of the episode where we talk about something dink. Yes, it's a thumbs up for us that we thought about, or it's a destroy and it's a thumbs down. Nope, not for us. And we want to hear your thoughts on this as well. So make sure you're going over to bdepodcast.com. And there is a way to scroll down where you can leave a voicemail as well, bdepodcast.com. So here are Dink and destroy. I came across this and it impacted me in a certain way. So there are adults having birthday parties at Chuck E. Cheese.
My thing is, we finally have money now as adults.
Yeah.
This is the ultimate place to go. Unlimited pizza, unlimited drinks. You could go in and jump in the ball pit if they now they have trampolines there.
Really?
And so much cheaper than a Dave & Buster's. Why not? I mean, I guess if you're the mom that brings her kid for the party and is like, what are all these 40-year-olds doing over here?
Right.
I could see that. But I mean, I feel like, why not?
So you're in it for the nostalgia of it.
I think the nostalgia. I mean, and now it's I don't have to be all sad with my 3 Tootsie Rolls and a spider ring. I have the money now to upgrade if I want to buy a different prize. I want the Xbox, please, and I'll just fork out the cash for it. So, I mean, I feel I don't know.
So you are an adult now, and I'll just let you know there's a thing called Temu, and you can get 1,000 spider rings and probably Tootsie Rolls.
I get it.
Cheaper than getting into Chuck E. Cheese.
I know, but it's only $12 a person for a party. Get 90 minutes playtime. It's fun. But I don't know. I'm straddling the fence.
Paddle Princess.
For me, it's a destroy. I think that Chuck E. Cheese should be left for the kids and the adults can go to Dave & Buster's. I don't want to bring my kids to Chuck E. Cheese for a kid's birthday party and then there's this group of 30
randos.
40, in there drinking their beers and hogging all of the games that the kids just want to go and have
That is
fun.
so true. I totally agree with you. So I think what a great idea, because you feel like, oh, Chuck E. Cheese, that's where we used to go.
Right.
Now, if Chuck E. Cheese would do an adult after midnight, 5 Nights at Freddy's style party, I would be so
That would be fun.
So
Like
in.
if it were
Oh.
adults only,
like no kids
yes,
there.
absolutely.
So
I agree with that.
Like that's where it would be cool. Like let's do
Yeah.
this animatronics come to life and chase you stuff.
I don't like that.
That's a different,
I don't like
think,
that at all.
venue.
So we're not telling that. I'm
But
just
you're
saying.
also not getting up at midnight to go anywhere. I'm
I
going to
know,
let her know.
but-
I just know that. I'm not.
Maybe if they offered like an adult time where
Yeah, like
you
after
could do
8
like
p.m.
a kind of this, kind of that, like serve both.
I see the nostalgia side of it, but I also see this as poor decision making. It's at least questionable decision making. You got it's set up for kids. I mean, why do I have a bunch of 45 and 50-year-olds fighting over skee ball tickets? You know what I mean?
I love skee ball.
and it can't be for
Skee-ball's
the
my
pizza.
favorite too.
I will
It's
play
not for the
skee-ball all
pizza.
It's
day.
not for the people. It's just nostalgia. And I think that that's probably where this is coming from. You know, but nowadays we do have the Dave and Buster's and we do have like the Smash Park. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Smash Park. We did an interview with them and they are the Chuck E. Cheese for adults.
Mhm.
See, and that's fun. I think that that's a lot of fun, but it also comes down to the economy as well, because Chuck E. Cheese is so much cheaper
Yeah.
than going to Dave and Buster's.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
somebody
it's set
who-
up for kids. I mean,
who's
none of
trying to
those
save
video
money-
games. None of those video games are set up for adults.
Yeah.
No,
I
skee
get
ball
that.
is. That doesn't change.
Okay.
And the
I get it.
basketball
So
games.
I'm going to go with destroy unless we're 5 Nights at Freddying this.
Okay.
Mine is destroy. Leave it for the kids.
Yeah, I'm destroy all about it. It's not for me. Tell us what you think, bdepodcast.com. You can scroll down and leave us a message, or you can just send us an email on what you think, and we'll share it on the podcast. So bdepodcast.com is where you'll find all that.
Found, heard, and learned.
All right, this brings us to the part of the show that I really like, where it's something we found in our week or our last couple of days or even yesterday. So somebody has the found. I know that.
I have found. And this is not a product, but I found that the best players really don't brag. And I have found that the best players are the ones that want to be helpful. The best players I have found are the ones that say, come play with us. I will teach you. I will help you learn. I will laugh with you. I have found that the best players
Are humble.
are humble. And the people who are over the top Karens and are throwing balls at your face just think they're local legends or something. I don't know. But I have found that the people who are amazing
Yeah.
are so humble and giving and gracious.
Yeah, and you know that leads me into a part of my life that isn't on the podcast, but you can go seek it out. But it's capability breeds humility, right? So when you're more capable, when you're good on the court, when you have good backhands, when you have good forehands, when you have the skills, then you're a lot more humble about the sport. And I think the sport does lend itself to on the job training, so to speak, where hey, if you're good, teach me why you're good. Bring me up to your level and not talk down to my level.
Right. Totally agree.
I like that.
So here's something that I came across that really resonated with me. Not that I'm quite up in this age bracket yet, but I understand where this man is coming from. Calm down. Calm down. So there's a 71-year-old guy named Chuck Abbott, and he's arrested for drawing pickleball court lines on a gym floor at a local rec center with a Sharpie. Love it. Love the energy he's bringing to it. He got fed up with the lack of proper courts in his area, took matters into his own hands. Obviously, the cops had to be called out for something like that. So I'm thinking,
Is this a community center?
yeah, rec center.
Rec
A
center.
rec center, yeah. And coincidentally, maybe not coincidentally, the guy is known as Mr. Pickleball in the community. So I think if anybody's bringing a Sharpie to a rec center, a basketball court, and drawing a pickleball court on that court, let's listen to the guy. I mean,
I feel like there has been probably some town hall meetings and that he was not
Yeah.
listened to and he had literally just had enough.
yeah. I know my passion for the game. I know
But I also know as a business owner how expensive those floors are. So
I mean, the
I
first
could
thing that
see-
pops into my head is, why didn't he use tape? like, why Sharpie?
To prove a damn point.
Yeah,
He's at that point. There has been
he does
some
not-
unlistened to requests.
Exactly.
For sure. And I need to know the full story on this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I look at the tape and that's
told him,
that's
"Hold my beer."
easily stopped, right? A 71-year-old using a roll of tape. I'm going to come out. Hey, Chuck, calm down just a second right here. But no, the Sharpie is like immediate. This is happening.
It's
You're not going to
savage.
be. Yeah. This is awesome. I love Chuck. Chuck, you're my people. If you want to be on our podcast, let me know.
I wonder if Chuck would go to Chuck E. Cheese and have his birthday.
That's a good one.
I'm just saying. That was a good one. I'm going to go
Yeah, I need
listen
to find that.
I
wanna
need to know the full
backstory.
story.
Yeah,
I need the
same.
lore, as the kids say. The lore.
Yeah. Who's got our herd this week?
I do. So something that I heard recently is that there is this ongoing trend of people coming home from work and sitting in their driveway in their cars for around 15 minutes and just sitting there, decompressing before they walk into the house.
Heck yeah.
That's something that you would do?
Oh, yeah. I'm told. Well, so
Not in a closed garage because
Yeah, please don't do it.
you'll be there longer than 15.
I don't know. Have you met our kids? I let it go for about 10 minutes and I open the garage door. No. But so for me, for my outside job, my non-pickleball related job, I'm in law enforcement. And this is important to me. I've done this for most of my career, is take that pause at the front door, take that pause in the garage and put my baggage down from what I just experienced for 8 to 12 hours, leave it there so I don't bring it into the house. So I'm definitely thumbs up on this one. This is something that resonates so deep with me.
I think it's a new version of the threshold method where anytime you walk through the threshold of your, where you go to work, when you pass that threshold, now you are at work and your brain is there, your mind is there, your body's there, and the same thing when you come home. So you're not bringing home all your baggage from work and all of that kind of stuff. But I also think, especially when I had younger kids, it's just kind of like in between 11 o'clock at night and 1 in the morning is really the only time you have, especially as a mom, to just look at your phone or just sit there or do nothing, if anything, so just capturing that little bit of extra time.
Yeah, we used to, for 9 o'clock hour, we used to call it getting our life back time, right?
Yes, I remember that.
Our life back.
It's time to get our life back.
Yeah. And this, this kind of plays into, there's a show on Apple TV called Severance. I think we watched a couple episodes of it. It's got Ben from Parks and Rec in it.
It's so slow.
It is.
I could only watch like one episode.
Where he goes into the work, as soon as he gets in that elevator, it wipes his memory of the outside world.
Oh, I do remember that.
Right? And then when he comes out of the elevator, then his outside world comes back.
Yeah.
And he doesn't remember his work life.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Why
did we stop watching it?
It was kind of slow.
slow.
Like Paddle Princess said,
It's
it was
really
a little bit
slow.
slow. But I'm thinking about picking it back up again just because we talked about it now, because it does kind of resonate with me and it's quirky enough where, I'm in. Let me see where this goes.
Yeah. And I think, back to just, this sitting and decompressing, I think it's important, especially if you have a stressful job or, you have small kids or, in my case, kids with you all the time. I mean, why not?
For me, my commute home is about 30 to 40 minutes, depending on the people that get in front of me who like to go 55 and a 75, which drives me nuts, but that's another rant. But for me, that's my drive, and my drive is mainly highway. So I'm mainly just going the entire time. I'm on cruise control. I'm just going. And by the time I get home, I want to get in my house. I want to change my clothes. I want to get in my pajamas, and I want to get something to eat, and I want to just release everything for the end of the day. So for me, sitting in my car for an extra 15 minutes would just be annoying to me. It would be
If you have a
frustrating.
long commute, I could see that.
I'm like, I just want to get home.
So do you take your 15 minutes, like when you get in, go in your room and shut the door and nobody can talk to you?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you
That's
take
the
your
first
15.
thing that I do.
No,
I
'cause
walk straight through my house. I put my stuff down, go to my room, shut my door.
So
I
you
change
do
my
it,
clothes.
just not in the car.
Yeah.
But you had your 30 minutes there too. So you
had your 30-minute drive too.
Right. And that's when I listen to my podcasts
Yeah.
and things along those
Do you
lines.
listen to this podcast?
Absolutely.
Why wouldn't you?
It's
This is
amazing.
awesome. Mediocre podcasting at its best.
We're fantastic.
Yeah, so tell us what you thought on the found, learned, and heard section. If something resonated with you, please tell us. Also, something you can do, you can hit our You've Been Served segment. You want to serve up some trash talk to one of your friends, one of your partners. You got something to say but don't want to be the one to say it, we'll do it for you on our You've Been Served. Ultimate way to dish out the truth, whether it's calling out a partner who's always just a little late and reminding a friend that the kitchen violations are real, or simply delivering a message with a side of sarcasm, we'll serve it up for you. Submit your messages now. Go to bdepodcast.com. In the upper right, click You've Got Served. We accept all kinds of nonsense, not just pickleball. We'll record it. We'll put it on the show at some point. The more ridiculous, the better. That's it for this episode. Unless you've got something to say, think we got it wrong, have a better take, we want to hear it. Find us at bdepodcast.com or at bdepodcast on the socials. Drop us a message. We might just feature you in the next episode. If you had a good time, well, samesies. If not, maybe try again. We grow on people. So you know the deal. Follow the show, tell a friend, and leave us a review. Or just pretend this never happened. Until next time, keep the dink soft and the energy big.